Hey, history hounds and stench sleuths. Did you know medieval Europeans thought a bath could kill you and land you in the stocks? Yup, soap was scarier than a witch's curse. Today, we're diving into the hilariously grimy world of medieval bathing blunders, where dirt was king and a quick dip could get you punished. Buckle up for a wild, smelly ride that'll make you kiss your showerhead. Smash that subscribe button for History Unearthed to sniff out more of the past's stinkiest secrets. Imagine 1350s Europe, castles, jousts, and a stench so fierce it could scare off a dragon. In a bustling village square, you've got merchants, minstrels, and a guy selling suspiciously old pies, all bonded by one thing: they stink. Bathing was the medieval equivalent of playing plague roulette. Doctors, the rock stars of the time, preached the miasma theory. Hot water opened your pores, letting in bad air that'd make you sicker than a night with food poisoning. This wasn't tavern talk. Physician Guy de Chauliac wrote in 1363 that open pores were disease magnets. Science said so. Enter Wulfric, our fictional pig farmer, slogging home caked in mud. His wife, Hilda, tosses him a vial of rosemary oil, whispering, "No bath, Wulfric, or the miasmal snatch your soul." Wulfric nods, slathers on the oil, and smells like a perfumed pigpen. But here's the wild part. Some towns took it further. If you were caught bathing, you might face a fine or a night in the village stocks, labeled a reckless washer for tempting fate. Imagine Wulfric's neighbor, caught sneaking a dip in a stream, paraded through town with a sign reading, "I dared to bathe." A fictional twist inspired by the era's paranoia about hygiene. Even royalty played dirty. King Louis XIV of France, the Sun King, took maybe 3 baths in his 72 years. 3. That's fewer than your dog after a muddy romp. His Versailles court was a perfume-soaked stinkfest, with nobles drowning in rosewater to mask the funk. Dirt was a badge of honor, like a medieval Fitbit for health. Show up clean, and people glared like you'd invited the plague to dinner. So, they piled on powders, oils, and enough perfume to choke a horse. Picture Lady Beatrice at a feast, fanning herself with a scented cloth, her gown hiding a year's worth of grime. Medieval Europe, where body odor was the ultimate power move. Rewind a bit, bathing wasn't always the enemy. Early medieval Europe had public bathhouses, like Roman spas, with a side of mead. These were the place to be. People soaked, swapped gossip, and maybe sealed a shady deal. Chronicler William of Malmesbury wrote in the 12th century about bathhouses buzzing with men and women bathing in good cheer. Medieval party central. But the church wasn't having it, calling these spots sin's stew for all the mixed bathing and steamy antics. Then the Black Death hit in the 1340s, wiping out half of Europe. Panic ensued, and doctors blamed bathhouses, claiming they spread miasma like a medieval meme gone viral. By the late 14th century, cities like Paris and London were boarding them up. A 1371 London ordinance banned public bathing during plague outbreaks, citing health risks. And in some towns, bathing became so taboo that getting caught in a bathhouse could land you in hot water, literally and figuratively. Picture our fictional merchant, Baldwin, nabbed for sneaking a soak. He's fined a week's wages and mocked as Baldwin the Bather, his name scrawled on a village shame board. Fiction, but inspired by the era's hygiene hysteria in medieval Europe. The irony: skipping baths made the plague worse. Fleas and lice, real plague carriers, partied on unwashed bodies like it was Coachella. Poor Baldwin once a bathhouse regular, now wipes himself with a dry rag, muttering, "I miss my bubbles," while fleas throw a rave on his cloak. By the 15th century, bathhouses were history, and Europe was all in on the no soap, no hope lifestyle. Let's dive into the world of royalty, because even kings and queens had their messy moments. Queen Elizabeth I of England had this wild claim that she only bathed once a month, whether she needed it or not. Can you believe that? Talk about a flex. Her court was an absolute whirlwind of wild wigs, sparkling jewels, and perfume so thick you could slice through it. Across the channel, Louis XIV's Versailles was like a stinky palace pretending to be a fancy perfume ad. Nobles stayed far away from water, thinking it was cursed, while servants fanned themselves with lavender hankies to escape the royal stench. Picture a wild ball where everyone's dancing, sweating, and trying to ignore that medieval landfill smell. Some rebels totally ignored the dirt code. Say hello to Agnes, our quirky apothecary, inspired by those wild stories of hygiene holdouts. Agnes sneaks over to a chilly stream for a quick scrub, grumbling miasma. Seriously, more like a total miasma mess, right? One day, the village watch finally catches her, dragging her to the stocks for endangering the town with her cleanliness. As kids toss garbage at her, Agnes yells, "At least I smell better than you lot," a fictional flourish that captures the era's anti-bath zeal. Most folks, from peasants to princes, wore their grime like a badge of honor. Here's a funny thought. Some people actually believed that just splashing cold water on your face was fine, but hot water, oh no, that was like Satan's spa day. Picture this: Sir Roland, our brave knight, is splashing his face with icy water, trying to wake himself up. But guess what? His armor is hiding a whole year's worth of funk. Can you imagine the smell? Partially clean, fully medieval. Can you imagine? How did they not just faint at those feasts? Did they really just vibe with the stench? It's like they bottled OD armpit and thought it was trendy. Fast forward to the 18th century, and science swoops in to crash the stinky party. Microscopists like Antony van Leeuwenhoek found tiny critters swimming around in dirty water, right? By the 19th century, germ theory came into play. Big shout out to Louis Pasteur for that. It turned out that dirt, not that old miasma nonsense, is the real villain. Bathing becomes the MVP, most valuable player, and soap gets a standing ovation. Public health campaigns, like Britain's big push for clean water back in the 1830s, really made hygiene a hot topic. Say goodbye to those old stocks for bathers. Cleanliness is totally the new cool now. The rest of the world was like, finally, what took you so long? Islamic hammams were totally spa goals. Even 14th century traveler Ibn Battuta couldn't stop raving about their amazing steamy vibes. Back in the Heian period in Japan, taking daily baths was totally the norm. Europe's no-bath phase was like showing up to a Zoom call on old dial-up internet connection. Picture Jane, a 19th century Londoner, stepping into a shiny bathtub with piped hot water. Her grandma's voice screams, "Miasma." But Jane's like, "Grandma, I'm in my clean era." Europe really leveled up its hygiene game, totally ditching the stinky Middle Ages. What's the moral of this stinky saga? Medieval bathing blunders show how fear can turn nonsense into science. Like thinking a bath could kill you or land you in the stocks. Could we fall for something that wild today? What other truths are we still scrubbing clean? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm all ears. If you loved this smelly trip through time, smash that like button, subscribe to History Unearthed, and ring the bell for more wild, wacky, and downright whiffy histories. Until next time, keep that curiosity alive. And hey, don't forget to relax in a nice bath.